Thank you, Scott. Well, it's great to be here. About a year ago, we made a change and brought in new designers and production and product development people. And we knew we were going to feel really good about the product, but we also felt like we needed a bit of a strategy change. And one of the things that had stayed with me, you know, in following Nordstrom's after my introduction to Pete and the team, was Nordstrom talking about how can we get more popular brands with limited distribution. And so we thought about that a lot at Vince and finally got the nerve up to call Pete and the team and say, we think Vince can fit very nicely into this Nordstrom strategy and have more limited distribution. I think Pete, you know, looked at me across the phone like I was a little crazy because we're pretty widely distributed. And that really started the dialogue on how we could be more important to each other. So hopefully you guys are as excited as we are about this new arrangement. I'm pleased with everything that's been happening behind the scenes. We knew we needed to bring in some new designers and merchandisers, as I discussed. And Patrik Ervell, when I met Patrik last summer, I wanted to make sure he understood where we were going and our partners. And I said, well, what do you think about Nordstrom's? He said, he goes, Nordstrom's? He goes, I started at Nordstrom's. I was a stock boy in store 423, Corte Madera. So I knew with that I had found my person. And so I want to introduce Jill Norton now, who is our VP of Wholesale, who most of you probably know, and Patrik Ervell, so they can walk you through the spring collection. So thank you to all of you for what you've done for us and what you will do, and we appreciate being here. So Jill and Patrik.
Thank you.
Vince, going forward, we're really going to lean into this California aesthetic, but in the most essential and elevated way, and in a very simple way. I think there are a lot of cliches surrounding when I say California, but I think the way our approach to it will be something a bit more unexpected. Really, I call it a high classic California. Simple, elevated, and easy.
As Brendan said, and I know Patrik very well feels, it's all about products. So we're gonna get started on some looks with you all and speak back to our spring presentation.
Tracksuit, familiar style, something that we all know well. In this case, with a braided trim detail on the side, just taking this very familiar athletic style and elevating it to its highest level. And I think you have it exclusively in a white colorway too, which is fun. Spring-summer collection is pretty sporty throughout, but it's also this tension between the luxury materials and the sportier nylon materials. In this case, he's wearing a sweater on top.
Yeah, and the beauty about this sweater is it looks like a sweatshirt, but as you touch and feel our product, this is actually an Italian yarn done in a half Milano stitch. So when Patrik says sweater, it's sewn on a sweater machine. So the elevated feel to that, the quality of it, this will last in your closet forever, and it can be dressed up and dressed down.
You know, this very sporty nylon jacket, but in this most elevated form, the color block details you see repeated in the earlier look.
And so the mix in this look is, his jogger at the bottom is also a tropical wool. So it's a dress pant fabric. It has an elastic waist. So this is where we talk about comfort and elevation.
So the perfect gray heather sweatshirt. This is, you know, it sounds simple, but to perfect something like that is actually the hardest thing of all. This is a fabric that is incredibly soft. We're a company that has these materials that you kind of have to touch to understand. You know, this really beautiful, really soft hand feel. So our POV in suiting is that it's really an LA way of wearing suits. It's untucked, it's unbuttoned. In this case, it's with a t-shirt. So lightweight, tropical wool, but that's really our approach to suiting. It's something easy, something you can just throw on. Every season we'll have that one jacket that's the perfect classic version. In this case, a classic Harrington jacket. The sweatpants, again, are in that incredibly soft heather sweatshirting. And then linen. Linen is a key fabrication for spring-summer, obviously. It's about being dressed up while still being comfortable. The shorts are actually out of hemp, which is interesting.
It's Italian linen, and again, so we're really affecting the softness of it and the quality of it.
That's the spring collection.
And we're excited through this partnership because this, for the first time, really feels with your partnership and our design that we're a full collection. And we thank you all for supporting us with that.
Thank you.